Welcome to the Urban Real Estate Research Unit and Quoin online quarterly seminar. These are seminars that we do throughout the year where we look at very specific real estate issues. What we're doing today is looking at PropTech, but not just PropTech, but the relationship and the embeddedness of PropTech in the real estate business in South Africa. We have some great panelists with us who will be taking us through their presentations, and then after that we will have our panel discussion. Very critical to our thinking here, which and our partner at Quoin Online, is that we look at topics that we are really thinking about at the moment and which we think will transform the South African property market over the next few years.
Thank you very much for the presentations, and Karen, welcome to the panel as well. What we're going to do in the few minutes that we have is discuss a bit what came out of your presentations. Tim, let me just start with you. I think an important point that you mentioned was this is no longer about GLA. I think we've come from a property market with square meters, and that was about it. I think what you are doing is something quite different. And I think where it becomes interesting, this is a talk about PropTech and the integration of PropTech in our businesses. How is this changing with the PropTech that you are integrating?
So I think in our business, the genesis of this, we started having the conversation about are we renting out space to this is property as a service. Let's use that word, but what does it mean and what is it? And that's why we approach it from the perspective of, well, what's the client's experience at the end of the day? And the best analogy, I suppose, is a hotel at the end of the day. I know I've heard you use the example before where you don't go in there and say, what's the GLA of the room? Has it got a single double bed and has it got a bath or a shower? And I mean, that's really the basis that you're approaching this. What do you want to do here? You want to work, you want all the facilities that you need to work. And concepts of GLA aren't relevant. Does it accommodate my staff? Are my staff happy here? And those types of considerations. If you talk about integration, if we look at this overall product, it's actually something that we can't offer without the IT solution, the tech solution being introduced into it. So I think that's the other important element of it is identifying what the clients want, how best to give it to them, and the tech is the thing that enables that to happen, to make sure that the client has that unique personal experience, as you would in a hotel.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to think about the technology when I'm in a hotel.
Yep.
It's integrated with what I'm going to get. Imagine if the hotel didn't have Wi-Fi, you know. So, and just Tim, another question before I move on. What is different from what you're offering from me walking in and I need a space for 24 hours?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, one of the things we're looking at here is it's a big market at the end of the day. We personally have 162 buildings, over 1.7 million square meters of space. So the point is there are a lot of potential users of that space and that service. So how do you attract and respond to that particular demand? With this particular product, we're identifying people who they have their own identity, they're established businesses, they probably run relatively lean organizations focusing on their business and what they want, but they want their own identity. So it's their office, their name on the front door, and it's their space. But you get other operators, and we have them in our portfolio as well, where people come in and say, I just want a desk, I just need a space, I just need to operate. That's more the collaborative work. What we know is the WeWork or Workshop 17 type of example, and yes, we have that within our portfolio as well, but it's a different product.
Okay,
just like you have the big users, the conventional leases, they want 5,000 square meters, and they'll have bespoke fit-outs for their particular needs, etc. So yeah, we're catering for all those different sectors. Work agility is something new in that it hasn't been catered for like this in the market at the moment. So, you know, as I mentioned, 80% of our portfolio is below 1,000 square meters. So we think it's quite a material part of the market that's actually going to find this attractive.
And I think, and then Quoin, I'd like to hear your views in a moment after it just comes in. And it's that idea as well, which we could later discuss, that a company needs different type of spaces for different departments as well. Yeah. That there may well be an argument to say we own the head office, but but we need different type of space for different departments.
Exactly right. I mean, it's definitely not one size fits all.
Exactly. There's been a discussion around PropTech, and it goes along the following. First, we can't scale up much of PropTech. So we come up with a solution for one company, and then we get to the next company that wants something completely different, and we end up with another app that we need or a solution. And ultimately, we go off to the US where we try to find something that sort of works for everybody. I think that's maybe the first. The second issue is that we don't have the foundation to PropTech. So the argument has been going along the lines of, yes, you've got a company X that produces some sort of solution, the next one goes around looking for data, and the third one does something else. For example, I've been doing some work as well where I just need a platform, GIS, where are all the companies? You can't get that. You've got to get the bits and pieces. So where are you in this?
Good question. I think what we see now is a bit of a maturing of how we use data sets, how we think of applications. This work agility offering a very good example of a more mature product and now offering it as a service. And I think at MRI, our goals or what we're seeing in the future is to begin offering integration as a service. So not just integration between one application and another application, but how do we necessarily enable the sector to be able to, one, build their own integration as they see fit, be able to access maybe several data sets, maybe data sets from different solutions, instead of leaving a application or program, logging into another program, checking the tenant's credit history there, logging into a different program.
So if Tim needs smartly, gets his leasing and things, he taps into your data.
Precisely. So an example there would be like being able to click on a tenant's profile. They're not just seeing the tenant's information that you've recorded in your system, but seeing the information in a credit bureau or seeing information
that others see as well.
That others see, exactly.
Yeah.
Without leaving your source system. So I think we've sort of laid the plumbing in a certain way, and now it's really an example of how do we enable the sector to begin taking those bits and pieces and putting them together for a more holistic approach.
So down the line, is this something which, for example, blockchain technology would start working towards, where you've got your building, you've got your deeds office, your town planning, your digital twin of,
absolutely,
is that where it ultimately sort of leads us towards?
I can't say yes or no. It's
no,
sort
okay,
of blockchain, sure. But I do think that the blockchain and the application of smart contracts is completely underutilized. And I do think that in the future, we would be solving problems that are absolute headaches at the moment.
And Tim, I'll get back to you, because what interests me is, if I want your space, how smart is the system? I mean, with leases, is it as easy as me booking a hotel room? Tara, I think you're at the interface of often the investor, the owner, the tenant, with Quoin online. How does that interface work? And I think you've got a pretty good sense of what owners should be looking at if they're going to meet the market.
Yeah, so we've obviously been at this for a couple of years, and the beauty about technology is it's ever changing. And through that, I suppose the lesson is we've dealt with a lot of the funds, a lot of the banks. And especially the banks, they've tried to build solutions. They've spent millions and millions and millions to build bespoke solutions for themselves, just to, in a couple of years down the line, just to scrap it and go with another system. So it's pointless building your own MRI or property management system if the solution is there. It's pointless building your own a smart contract management system if it's there. The important thing is for all us tech companies to work together to offer our clients one specific solution, as Jesse said, so you don't work in silos.
Right.
It's the best practices of each company, so they all have a different niche. And the important thing is for us all to be integrating so we can collectively to go to our clients who ultimately they're the same clients, and we say to them, we are offering you this system as a whole. You need to plug into one specific point. You don't need to go into specific silos, and because that's where the adoption of systems fall over, and the and staff within the organizations don't like that. They'll have to go into MRI. They'll have to go into our system to have a look at a lease and to go through the smart contract system. From there, they then have to load a lease onto, for instance, a DocuSign in order to get it signed. So, and then somebody else has to take that lease again and add the information back into MRI. So the important thing is for us to be closing the loop and for landlords to be looking at this and investing more in software as a service, where they then benefit from the technology changes that the software companies are making constantly in order to make this environment and the industry more efficient and effective.
So you're creating the marketplace.
Yes.
Oh, I don't want to say the JSC, but you can imagine that this is the marketplace. Everyone at JSC, they've got a common system. They know, everyone knows the share price. Everybody, it's that consistency in the market.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, it is that consistency, and often landlords feel they don't want to be compared, but they are being compared. So brokers compare their stock. What our system does, at least, we allow the landlords to be in control of what they are putting out to the market, and also being able to benchmark themselves against what else is comparable in the market. So it really is just, and I think technology in the space that we are in at the moment, it's creating and making for a more transparent system and more transparent property market as a whole.
Yeah, and it leads to market efficiencies, which, as an economist, is critical to what we do. Okay, I think I'd like to close with just asking each of you to think about what the future could look like. Tim, maybe it's an opportunity to see also when we talk of smart leases, how we go in there, how those who are interacting can do so seamlessly. I think, Karen, you've really touched on quite a number of issues going into the future, but maybe some last word. Just your perspective. How do you see things going forward here?
I think it's important to note that PropTech or integration, API, these ideas aren't some giants in the hills, right? They're going wherever we go. Right. Whatever decisions we make, that's where it's going. If we are creative and responsive to market needs, if we're looking at the data, honestly, we're looking at what the feedback says, and we begin to produce solutions around that, I think that's where the market's going. Whatever we decide in terms of integration in the long run is better communication. From a personal perspective, I think better communication, more open communication. I think that's and data in real time across solutions. That would be.
Tim?
There's more and more data points becoming available, and what's happening now is we're able to actually make sense of these. You're not just collecting the data, you're actually using it in an environment where you can use it. Change is definitely happening. Change is happening fast, and I think it's happening faster. What is exciting is these types of systems enable a landlord to respond to it. And we can respond to it a hell of a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently. I mean, I only learned fairly recently about APIs. What it means is less mistakes, direct integration, and less intervention. So it means more and human error and things like that. So personally, I find it quite exciting. And as we make more sense of the data we have available, it bodes well. And that's really what this is enabling.
Carl, a few words. How do you see the future?
Integration.
Yeah.
And listening to our clients. So I always believe in selling a solution to solve a problem. Don't sell the product, because that's not what it's about. So we sit with the Growthpoint and with Tim and his team and others, and they tell us, we like this from this system, we like this from here. And then we come up collectively with a solution that helps the client solve their problem. So I think more and more and more of that's going to happen. And again, if tech companies just come together and do that collectively, I think this market really is going to be amazingly efficient and it's no longer 10 years down the line. We're talking now a year, 2 years.
Thank you very much to the three of you for the discussion. And I think what I really walk away with from this discussion, we've often looked at the issues that are affecting the property market. But I think what we're seeing is the property market itself changing. We always assumed that the property market had a way of doing things. And then we looked at demographic and the economy and we said, how does it? But I think what's interesting, or what is happening here, is that the market itself is going to look very different in the next few years, and how we respond to the market, to the tenants. So I think that really came out here. And I think very critical to the whole discussion has been the integration. That it's no longer the Excel spreadsheet that you buy, but that it's integrated in the business itself. And I think that makes the important difference. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Francios.